BJ Davis is a 6'2 guard from Modesto, California, entering his sophomore season on the Mesa.
Open look at a three. Good for BJ Davis.
What was last season? When you think about last year, your freshman year, being a true freshman, what went into it? What are your takeaways from year one?
Well, man, I really didn't know what to expect going into it. But, throughout the year, I learned many lessons, just, how to set my foundation and what my day-to-day should look like. So, just me being a freshman and seeing all that stuff, like the guys in front of me, and just seeing their work ethic, it just really allowed me to grab onto it and so I can continue to train.
How much of it is just about learning and observing and taking in? Because you can only do so much when you're not given as much opportunity on the floor to play, because you're playing behind, like you said, veteran guard. So how much was it the behind the scenes that put you in a position to be where you are now?
I think that was everything. I think that was very huge for my development as a person and as a player. So I think sometimes you may not see the end result right then and there, but if you keep pushing and stick with it, then it'll all be worth it.
When you go from high school to college and you think about San Diego State and this defense-first mentality, what was the biggest adjustment for you?
Taking my game to that second level because, it's a bigger, stronger, more competitive level. So things are going to be a little different. People are stronger, faster. So just really adapting to that and learning what you can and can't do on this level.
When you get in there day one, you go back to a year ago and you see veteran guards, Lamont Butler and Darian Trammell. Obviously, Reese Waters is entering his first year here, but his fourth year in the program, and others. What is that like as a young player walking into a locker room like that?
It's really inspiring because, I get to see all these great players that came before me. And for me to, get an opportunity and chance to do the same thing that they've done it's all I can ask for.
What was it about San Diego State that made it, you thought, the right fit for you and your family?
I think, just what Coach Dutch harps on, defensive-minded program. And they really didn't promise me nothing here. A lot of other places, they were promising me things, and I kind of never really had, a set, promise. I never was promised anything, so I kind of wanted to just stick with what I knew.
Is the defense what got you on the floor? Because you were given some opportunities early in the year, and it seemed like you really embraced that defensive mentality. Is that what kind of got you your first opportunities there?
Definitely. I feel like that's where I really started my career. That's how I started my, getting out there and getting known, was just by competing hard on the defensive end, and then that leads to everything offensively.
Is that the type of player you always were when you were younger? Were you like a defensive first guard, or when did you really start, honing in on that part of your game?
I definitely would say I was always defensive first because, credit to my dad. He had me just working out at a young age, doing all different type of drills, and just I remember even when I was young playing, little leagues, and I'd be guarding people full court, and the coaches got to tell me to relax a little bit. I'm just taking the ball from them, go and lay it up.
It felt like from afar, the way last season ended, specifically for you, would be a really good jumping off point for an off season. You got into some games late in the NCAA tournament, had some impactful moments, against both Yale and UConn. You had some good moments in those games. What was your mentality and your feeling coming out of the NCAA tournament?
I kind of just got the experience. I kind of got, the feel for it, if you would say, how the environment is and stuff like that. So, when we get back to that time, I'll be able to just go through it with the confidence of knowing that, okay, this is going to be like this and this is going to be like this. So it just gives you more confidence in your own abilities and your decision making.
Viejas Arena, having a chance to be in this building, for every player, it must be a special environment. I mean, this is one of the great environments in the country. What's it like as a player to play inside Viejas?
For the few times that I went in, it's crazy. I can imagine being out there for the duration of a game and putting in work and the crowd going crazy. You get into it, it's awesome.
Is this the time of year as you ramp up for a season where you're just are you ready to go, or do you feel like you still need the time to put this team in a position that they're ready to go for the schedule that you guys are going to go through?
Honestly, I feel like we work so hard and practice every day. We really take pride in how hard we work. So, with that being said, I think that we're ready for, any challenges that come our way.
How do you describe the culture of San Diego State men's basketball?
Tough, disciplined, and dedicated.
How much pride is there in the successes year in and year out to continue that legacy moving forward?
Oh, you have to take pride in that. Looking at all the great players that came before you and seeing what they've done and knowing that, okay, I've got a chance to do this. So I might as well put everything I can into it.
Do you feel like this group might be even hungrier of a group than a year ago, considering there's so many new faces and it's almost like you need to write your own story, this group, moving forward?
Yeah, I could honestly say that, a majority of players that have returned, they really, for example, like Miles Bird, he was getting minutes last year, and so I bet he's just super hungry, ready to go. Like, he's got something to prove out there, and that's going to fuel us all, so we're all going to feed off that. And
it feels like a lot of the players in the history of this program under either Steve Fisher or Brian Dutcher come in with this chip on their shoulder, this idea that they want to outwork others, that they're trying to prove people wrong. Maybe they were under-recruited. Maybe they're here for a reason. Is there a chip that you've carried on your shoulder, and where does that come from?
For sure. I think that just comes from life, like who I am and how I was raised, Just really putting your all into something. And that's going to make you a little prideful about it. Like, yeah, you take it personal sometimes, but it's all about the process, like just working day in and day out and then watching the fruits of your labor.
Did you have a feel for how competitive the Mountain West Conference was going to be when you came into the league?
I had no idea, but honestly, it's a great league because just the people you meet inside of it. Like I know a few of the other players, like just all players from different teams in the Mountain West, and knowing them since high school and now competing with them on a different level and seeing what they've done their whole life. Because, some of these guys I grew up with, like around playing and just with AU and stuff, and seeing them on big stage doing their thing is awesome.
PJ, obviously a year ago you're playing behind these veteran guards, so we didn't get a ton of opportunities to see you on the floor. How do you describe your game? I
would describe my game as giving the team anything they need to win. So whether that be grabbing 10 rebounds, I'll grab 10 rebounds. Diving on 10 loose balls, I'll dive on 10 loose balls. So just really doing whatever it takes to win and putting my brothers before me, because I feel like with that mindset, if everybody puts something before them, like it'll be part of a better collective. So that's just how I look at the game and treat this game of basketball.
Do you feel like you have a good knack, by the way, for rebounding at your size? You have a good feel for rebounding considering you out of the guard position?
Yeah, I definitely would, say I'm definitely a good rebounder, and I credit that to my dad. He had me doing a lot of miscellaneous things, workouts as a kid. I'm like, why am I doing this? Throwing medicine balls around. I couldn't understand why I was doing it, but as you grow older, you see, okay, I've been on the path to doing this stuff.
Ready for opening night in a couple of weeks?
For sure.
BJ Davis, appreciate you doing it, man. Thanks so much.
Thank you.